um destino onde se encontram e coexistem culturas de todo o mundo. Para lá do arrojo e da opulência, viemos ao Dubai em busca da sua história e da gastronomia internacional em cada esquina. Na Sábado Viajante, sabemos para onde vamos. Venha daí connosco. Na busca pelas tradições do Dubai, sentamos agora à conversa com Raina Sayed e Ali Al-Raiz. Raina é a CEO e Ali, o proprietário do Arabian Boutique Hotel, onde ficamos por estes dias no Dubai.
Thank you for visiting us in Arabian Boutique Hotel. The whole reason and the concept behind it, that we're a country with a history, and we have old history and we have not so late distant history. And this place specifically is being built in 1910. This was like the capital of Dubai, this whole region, this whole area. So, and me being traveler around the world, I've traveled the world, always I find places, unique places in each country representing its heritage, its history. Visit the rooms, you will see what I mean, that you have, the building is old, close to 100-year-old. However, the amenities in the hotel is most comfortable that you could find.
People will come to stay at Arabian Boutique Hotel for the history, for the location. This location is a very unique location for the UAE and one of the oldest locations in the UAE due to the port that is very close. The core is here, you know, all the trade ships that move around is here, and just the tranquility of the place also. When you wake up in the morning, sit on the view, have your coffee, and you know, you feel also the tradition. For us, we started with the restaurants, and we started our hospitality group by the passion of having an Emirati cuisine restaurant that it's called Arabian Tea House. This is how we used to live in the UAE. This is a traditional, proper family house with the courtyard in the middle and the rooms around. So this is the full experience. Dubai being a touristic area and a tourist attraction is the right place also for people to come and enjoy and know the culture. So it's time not to see Dubai as the skyscrapers only, but also the tradition and the history behind all the skyscrapers that you see.
Here, since this was the center of town or the capital of Dubai, now it's been converted by the government to museums. There are 26 museums, and overseeing the creek. The creek is the lifeline for Dubai trade. It's been there for many, many years, but it's been in use since 1833, since Dubai was established. So this whole area is coming together as an attraction and looking back in the history of Dubai, yet you can still see Burj Khalifa. Restaurant, all our 7 restaurants that we have, we serve Emirati cuisine, but we also gone a step further. We established our own farm. We have like 1 million square feet of farmland, and we grow our own vegetables. We have our own cows for the milk.
Thank you so much for this experience. And
thank you. Thank you for coming here, and thank you for your feedback. And we hope that you like the food.
Well, we had already a very nice breakfast.
Perfect. Perfect.
A descoberta das cozinhas do mundo vai se centrar agora no Médio Oriente. Farid Ahmed criou uma empresa de food tours, passeios pelo Dubai, com toda a atenção dada à gastronomia local, influenciada pelos sabores da Palestina, Síria, Jordânia ou Iraque. No Dubai, fugidas dos vários conflitos militares, vivem milhares de pessoas que se agarram às memórias por via de alguns pratos inesquecíveis. Mas a enérgica Farida explica-nos tudo. This is your neighborhood. This is where your parents live. This is where you live.
Yes.
So you feel at home here.
Yes, I am absolutely at home here, which is why even when we started Frying Pan Adventures, this was the tour that we launched the company with, because we're living in the neighborhood. So it just made perfect sense to start showcasing hidden gems from within our neighborhood as well. And as I mentioned, 11 years later,
you are
here.
And these are the restaurants that you have always eaten. You know your neighbors.
So a lot of the restaurants are restaurants that perhaps we have been eating at, or that they opened up in our neighborhood and then we fell in love with them, or maybe someone, a friend or family member, recommended them to us. For example, the sweet shop that we will be visiting right at the end, I've been coming here with my parents and my sister ever since the 1990s. And anytime we want to buy baklava,
that's the spot.
That's it. Anytime we have family or friends visiting and they say, where can we go to buy baklava? We bring them there. So it just made perfect sense.
Eating is sharing as well. Sharing not only the food, but also the knowledge and all these traditions.
Absolutely.
And what do you have in that bag for us?
I have a little something for you. This is something like we like to give to all our guests who sign up for our tours. It's a little tote bag to help you always remember us.
Okay.
And it has a few tour essentials. There are some wet wipes, hand sanitizer. There's a little fan in case it...
I've seen it. This is
a bit humid.
Yeah. Really nice, and it helps a lot.
It does. There's a little map of Dubai as well, because sometimes guests like to ask us questions, so it's easy for us to show that. And there is a little hairnet in there, because I do have a surprise for you later.
Oh, I'm looking forward for this surprise.
I'm glad.
So let's start our tour.
Yes, please. We're going to head. We're going to head in that direction.
Okay,
follow me, please.
Let's go. Thank you so much, Farida. This, I think, it's going to be a delicious experience.
Yay!
Thank you.
Few people understand that Dubai is not necessarily, or hasn't always been, such a new and modern city. You know, for example, like look around you now, so brightly lit.
Yeah.
Would you believe me if I told you that electricity only began to power this city somewhere in the mid-1950s onwards? So if you would come here in the 1950s, you wouldn't see bright lights. You would have seen kerosene lamps and Petromax lights. And today, while the city is thriving, post sundown, in those times, the sun would set, everything would close down. Dubai today has, you know, we're famous for even supercars. The first car only got here, I want to say somewhere, again, in the late 1940s, when the then ruler got a car. But back then, everybody did what we are doing now.
Walking.
They walked, because the city wasn't very big. But if you were rich, guess what animal you would buy to ride on? And this was a sign that you were rich.
The camel? No, the horse.
No, donkey.
The donkey? Was it the signal of wealth?
And because donkeys were brought in from nearby countries like Iran and Iraq. The donkey was the status symbol of the rich. We went from donkeys to Aston Martins in less than 50 years. Right? That's real progress. You know, up until 1963, this is when the Maktoum Bridge was built. The only way to cross from one side of the city to the other, from Dera to Dubai, for example, was by the traditional wooden boat Abra. And back then it was all hand-powered, you know, and they're still there. They still try to Dubai Creek.
You can still do it. So you give us all this information during the tour. You share your food, your thoughts, your culture. How can we get in touch with you and book your tour? How can we do it?
On our website. So our website is www.fryingpanadventures.com, and currently all our tours are offered in English, but
there's a surprise.
We just hired a guide who will be able to offer this tour, this is the Middle Eastern tour, as a private experience in Portuguese.
Oh, that's good. Começamos a viagem no alto. O observatório Sky Views está nos andares 52 e 53 da ligação entre as duas torres do Address Sky Views Hotel. Daqui vê-se toda a cidade. Há uma passagem de vidros com mais de 40 metros por onde se pode andar e está disponível também a experiência do Edge Walk, caminhar no exterior do edifício a cerca de 220 metros de altura. Optamos por uma experiência menos radical.
Descer num escorrega a 219 metros de altura é possível no Dubai. O Sky View permite esta experiência.
Dubai é tecnologia, foi por isso que viemos ao Aya Universe, uma experiência imersiva através de 12 salas que conseguem mexer com todos os nossos sentidos. Este cosmos colorido fica no centro comercial Wafi e vale bem a pena. Fica a recomendação. Começamos esta descoberta do Dubai pelo deserto, mas sem os lugares comuns das acrobacias nas dunas. É de conservação que vamos falar com Jay Mascarenhas, guia da Platinum Reserve, e a bordo de um Jeep Land Rover de outros tempos. Tudo nas calmas, entre espécies protegidas e uma filosofia de respeito pelo ambiente. E no final, com direito a jantar tradicional sob as estrelas.
We want to make sure that the people understand that in the desert there are animals and there are plants that would live. And the concept is that the people would think it's only just sand. We want to change that perspective because as you could see there's a lot of vegetation which kind of like grew over the past few years, knowing we've had significant rainfall over the past 3 years. Things like gazelles and oryx are typically found here in the desert, but what people don't understand is we've got a lot of snakes, scorpions, gerbils, lizards, spiders, beetles, all living in the desert area. And that's exactly why we do not do any dune bashing activities, because that's going to destroy their homes. And so the ecotourism concept is quite something that we were very proud of, and we want to differentiate ourselves from the other companies that will concentrate on dune bashing. So again, things like these we wanted to preserve. The national tree, which is the GAF tree, well spelled G-H-A-F, is the reason why we get to know that there's water underground. Back in the day, the Bedouins will look for clues such as these trees, trying to see if there's water underground, because these trees can look for water up to 65 meters deep with their roots. And that's exactly why they actually got the distinction of being the national tree. When the Bedouins get to see the trees, they will start digging, looking for water, and when they find it, they will create a well that will be a source of water for them. Now, having seen these trees surviving in this area, the Conservation Reserve Authority tried to look for water, and of course they found it 30 meters below, and that's why we've got the solar panels there installed so that the motor pump will run and start bringing the water to the surface, so the animals like the gazelles, the birds, and the oryx will have something to drink. We make sure that people get that nostalgic feeling when they do the safaris. In the 1950s, there were only 2 modes of transportation, camel or Land Rover. So we might want to make it as authentic as possible. That's why we're using these. And we've actually restored them.
What kind of other surprises can we expect for later in the day?
So we actually have a falcon show, and again, it's important for us to make you understand that the falcon, despite the fact that they're not originally from this country, they're considered the national bird. Okay, so the falcons have been important pets for the Bedouins. In fact, the people who have relied on hunting for food, they actually were assisted by the falcons before. They were the ones that helped hunt for food. So we will explain to you exactly how it came about and how the Bedouins used them when they were migrating to help them look for food everywhere.
Oh, nice, man.
And we will be able to enjoy the sunset as we actually go to that area. So apart from the sunset and the falcon show, we will have our dinner, of course. We try to be as authentic as possible, so we'll give you the Arabic Emirati style Bedouin sit-down dinner. And then we will have activities like smoking shisha, which is actually the leisure way of the Arabic people, or the Bedouins will entertain themselves. We've got something called henna tattooing. It's mainly to cover your arms and your skin with a lot of henna. It's mainly how the Bedouin women will beautify themselves if they actually lack jewelry. Dubai is actually a small emirate, and you can actually be by the beach or by the Arabian Gulf, in the city and the desert, all within 1.5 hours distance.
Hoje despedimos-nos no deserto do Dubai, nos Emirados Árabes Unidos. Na próxima semana, continua a descobrir Portugal e o mundo com a Sábado Viajante. No canal Now, no site e nas redes sociais da revista Sábado, em podcast e sempre na sua revista de viagens. Já nas bancas.